Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Spin Cycle Live. I am your host, Nathan Hale. Do we have some stories for you today? Before we even get into it, we are less than a week from Election Day, so I urge all of you, if you have not voted yet, to go out and vote, get a vote in. Early voting is open in a lot of states right now. Please try and vote in person. Please try and go on Election Day if you can. Get a vote in one way or another, especially if you live in a swing state. That being said, I will be on a live stream on election night with Robert Herr. It will be broadcasted live on X, on Twitter, on the Washcast. This live stream is going to be wild, y'all. We have so many great things planned for this live stream. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be the most amazing live stream you're ever going to see. We're going to win so much on election night. You are not ready to see how much we're going to win on election night. We will be joined by the Morning Mayhem as well as Third Rallify on this live stream, as well as many other great and amazing guests. It is all over on this post on Twitter. Go see Robert's pinned post. It's all about it. But we got a lot of great things going. I will personally be on the episode starting shortly after the live stream premieres, and then I'm going to come back on again about an hour after the East Coast polls close. So hopefully by the time I return, there will be some states that have been called. We might have some updates on the situations that are happening in states like Virginia, which might be in question in this election, as well as Pennsylvania. I mean, how crazy, just as a complete aside, how crazy would it be if Trump won Virginia? I doubt it will happen, but crazier things have happened. I mean, the man did win in 2016 to begin with, and no one believed that would happen. So who knows? Virginia could be in play in this election, just saying. But in our first story of the day, this is something I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while now, and we just haven't covered it. So it's at the start of the show. It's at the very beginning. I'm like, I got to talk about it today. I got to talk about it. Let's talk Josh Seiter. So if you haven't heard of this dude, Josh Seiter is a personality. He was on The Bachelor. He's just kind of been all over the place. He's gotten a lot of attention in the past couple weeks, and I'm sure that many of you have probably heard of him. But for those of you who haven't heard of him, basically, Josh Seiter said that he was a woman a few months back. Okay, he said he was transgender, started dressing like a woman, started looking like a woman. So look like a man. He kept a beard and everything. He looked like a lot of those they thems, those they uglies out there that we see all the time, who are just very androgynous looking. And yeah, so Josh Seiter said he's a woman. All right. Come to find out just a couple weeks ago, he is not, in fact, a woman. He was a man the whole time, and this was nothing but a massive social experiment. So I have a short video to play, and then we're going to talk about this more in just a second. But let's go ahead and pull up that video for you all. I found one on Instagram, and this was the best little quick intro to Josh Seiter as a woman, if you haven't heard of him. So let's go ahead and play this. Hello? Is it going to play? Excuse me, we're experiencing some
comments.
Here we go.
To pit us against each other. Today, I just wanted to talk about unity and our shared experiences as women. Shared experiences like making boss woman moves, motherhood, and just going through things that men wouldn't understand. So let's do this together. I'll lead the way if you follow. Bye, everyone. So I'm seeing a lot of divisive comments.
Okay, enough this. Get this off my screen. So Josh Seiter, that whole video comes out, says that he's a woman. In fact, says that, oh, no, I'm not a man. I am a woman. Now, for those of you who didn't know, before this, Josh Seiter said that he was pansexual. He's had a whole thing with his sexuality. So who really knows what he is and what he isn't. All that we know is that he's not a woman, according to him, just recently. So to get in what I specifically wanted to cover, he said this was all social experiment. He said this was all just to show how whack the entire world is right now, that he comes out as a woman and just completely gets accepted, even though he looks, he looks like that. He looks like a man in a dress. You put some makeup on a pig, it's still a pig, right? So he's been getting all this attention from the right to show how great of like a guy he is for showing the lunacy of all the transgenders out there. And I'm looking at this and I'm asking myself, like, really? You went through all that work to pull a whole little social experiment to show show the lunacy, show that you're a man, just to like shove it in everyone's face? And here's the thing, folks. This is what really gets it. This wasn't like he said he was like a woman for like a couple days or like a week. He said that he was a woman for like multiple months. Like he went on a whole bunch of different media outlets and said that he was a woman. He did a whole bunch of different content in that dress, with the makeup on and everything, just to come out and say, oh, no, I'm a man after this. So I asked myself, what is this guy up to? And from one angle, I see where people are coming from when they're shoving support towards this guy, because it is nuts that you'd behave this way, and that you would put on this show and people would believe in everything. And to be fair, with all of the they thems out there, he's got a little bit of a point there, because there are so many of them that we've seen. I'm sure you've seen him. I'm talking about Dylan Mulvaney, who clearly are men dressing like women. But I think that this came at it from entirely the wrong angle. So I'll give you an example. There was a Daily Wire movie that came out called Lady Ballers. You may have seen it. Came out at the end of 2023. This movie was like basically a hit piece on Leah Thomas. Leah Thomas, for those of you who don't know, was a college male swimmer who ranked almost at the bottom of the barrel for male swimming, became a woman, all of a sudden was in first place for female swimming. So transition to get a leg up in sports is what a lot of people would like to say. So this whole movie is basically a hit piece on Leah Thomas. But it was done in a very comedic way. We all knew what was happening. No one seriously was saying that any of the people in this movie were women. It was a joke. It was comedy. Josh Seiter, on the other hand, said firmly that he was a woman, that this was not comedy. Someone asked him point blank if this was all a joke, and he said, no, it wasn't a joke. That's his identity. That's who he is. And I look at this, and I've thought about this for a while now, and it's why I really wanted to cover it, in that I don't believe that the people supporting Josh Seiter who are on the right are going to end up being on the correct side of history. I'll tell you why. Had this been the case 10, 15, 20 years ago, it would have been gay people versus transgender people now, right? And had someone at that time said they were a gay person and gone around whole media outlet and everything, and shown potentially the lunacy of being a homosexual at the time, it would have been laughed at, it would have been a joke. It would have gotten the same response, I feel like, that this guy is getting now. And we look back at something like today in 2024, and had that happened 20 years ago, we would say that's ridiculous, right? That's kind of a mockery. Like, you're kind of shoving a lot of things in people's faces here. I think the same thing is going to be said about this guy. And here's another reason. So he is very much taking position. You go and read through his Twitter if you want to, but he's definitely taking a position that all transgender people are grifters, right? And I think that shoves kind of in the face of a lot of people who have spoken out against the transgender community, such as Blair White, who very much presents herself as a woman, who definitely suffers from gender dysphoria. And there's plenty of other people out there who genuinely present themselves as the opposite sex. They have passing privilege, quote unquote, right? And I think that that's really an insult to a lot of people like that who have done a lot in American politics and world politics, for that matter, to show the lunacy of what transgenderism has turned into today, versus what it once was. And I think that Josh Seiter took this, ran with it, took it way too far. I have another piece of evidence to share with you all. So Josh Seiter on his Twitter links to an Amazon page. That Amazon page is for a book called Ball Drop by Colin Tanner. Now, Colin Tanner is Josh Seiter's alias, and he wrote a memoir. And I'll read to you. By the way, it was 11 reviews on Amazon. Nobody's bought this book. Just saying. But I'll read you. This came out in 2019, by the way. I'll read you the description of this book. It says, quote, "Want to get lost in an underground world of kinky debauchery, satiating sexual encounters, and hilarious stripping debacles? Come experience it firsthand as Colin Tanner navigates the choppy waters of his life in this provocative tell-all memoir, Ball Drop. Make sure you buckle up because it's going to get wild and very, very messy." Now, who is reading a book like that? And why would this guy write a book talking about kinky debauchery and salacious sexual encounters? I believe that there were some ulterior motives at play. I think that Josh Seiter may have gotten some potential joy out of dressing as a woman for a few months. I don't know any of this for sure. This is just me speculating at this point. But I think it says a lot that this guy who's now saying this was all a practical joke, it wasn't serious at all, right? Ha ha. Would write a book like that. And this is one of those scenarios where I think this is like funny, sad, and not funny, haha. So all that to say, if you have been a Josh Seiter fan up until this point, maybe take a step back. Maybe don't hold this guy up as a hero like many people believe that he is. Let's move on. Supreme Court allows Virginia to remove non-citizens from voter rolls. So Supreme Court decision came out today that will be going forward and removing 1,600 non-citizens from the Virginia voter rolls after two lower courts ruled in favor of the Biden-Harris Department of Justice's request to block the Commonwealth voter roll purge. This is great. Every single state needs to be doing this. Every single state needs to be going through and removing non-citizens, dead people. I mean, there's the classic joke that's like, when I die, don't let me vote for Democrat, right? You know, every state needs to be doing more stuff like this and going through and removing that from their voter rolls. They need to be more proactive about knowing when people are moving out of state, when they've moved and everything, when they don't live at that address anymore. I mean, we've seen time and time again ballots being sent to people at a home that they don't live at anymore, right? So they may have moved away years ago. So anyways, I think this is great. This was just a quick story about that. And, you know, 1,600, not that many people, but I mean, hey, it's a step in the right direction for the state of Virginia. And, you know, I think it's setting a new standard potentially for the rest of the country to start to get rid of some of these non-citizens, some of these dead people off their voter rolls. But like I said, it's a step in the right direction. And, you know, it's a middle finger to the Biden-Harris administration, which, you know, is never a bad thing. Another Supreme Court decision denies push to remove RFK Jr.'s name from ballot in two swing states. So RFK Jr. will still be on the ballot in Michigan and Wisconsin in this election. He sued the state secretary of states. He wanted his name taken off him. He's like, hey, I'm not running anymore. Take my name off the ballot. I don't want people voting for me. Took it all the way up to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, nope, we're going to keep your name on the voter rolls. And I hope that people who were RFK supporters morph over to Trump and they don't stick with their guns and still vote for RFK, because their votes are being thrown away at this point, right? Or if frankly, if you were going to vote for RFK over Kamala Harris, I'd rather you vote for RFK and have your vote thrown away than I go to her. But I think it's a disappointment that these states are keeping him on very specifically to use him as a political pawn, basically to draw votes away from Trump, right? That's exactly what he said. So RFK Jr. said in a statement, quote, "The Supreme Court has unfortunately today sided with the Secretary of State of Michigan and Wisconsin, both Democrats, to undermine election integrity and leave my name on the ballot in both those states. It is a purely political move in the hope that folks who would have otherwise voted for Trump will throw away their vote by voting for me instead." He went on by saying, "Don't let them undermine this election. Don't be fooled. I am off the ballot in every other state I have sought to get off of other than Michigan and Wisconsin. So if you are Michigan or Wisconsin, please make sure to vote for Donald Trump. Do not vote for me. Together we will make America healthy again." Love RFK. I was never going to vote for him. I didn't support him in any primary elections or anything. But RFK, great guy. So glad to hear that he's on Trump's side. Complete disappointment from these states that they're keeping him on. So this was a First Amendment case, which surprised me when I was reading through this article. I did not expect them to take a First Amendment stance, but basically they've said that, or RFK Jr.'s lawyers have said that keeping his name on the ballot when he's wanting it off is acting as a compelled speech. And it's basically going against his wishes, right? And that's very much what was said in the Supreme Court. So this case presents a question of exceptional importance as forcing a person onto the ballot compel his speech in violation of the First Amendment. The repercussions of that are enormous. This is Kennedy's lawyer, I believe, from a lower case. So if candidates can't stop his name from appearing on the ballot, could battleground states put President Joe Biden back on their ballots? And I think that this is a great point, that you have states that are Democrat run that are using RFK as a political pawn to draw votes away from Donald Trump, when no states are using Joe Biden to do that. So it's kind of a double standard, right? And by the way, just taking a step back, to be fair with the Republicans, they did try and sue a lot of these states to keep Joe Biden's name on the ballot, specifically to do the exact same thing, and they turned it down. So I think it's very unfair and very dishonest that they're not doing the same privilege for RFK. Big disappointment, but that's all I have to say about that. Biden may have handed Trump a big assist with his garbage gaffe. So Joe Biden called Trump supporters garbage the other day. So if you are a Trump supporter, you have been demoted from a basket of deplorables to a garbage, which I don't know what's worse. I was kind of fine with deplorable. We kind of took that on, everything yeah, we're deplorables. We're in the basket of deplorables and everything when Hillary Clinton said it. So now apparently we are all garbage if you vote for Donald Trump, according to Joe Biden. So Joe Biden said, "The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters." And he also said that this quote, I have no idea what this means. I'm going to read this verbatim as best as I can, but Joe Biden apparently said this. The whole garbage line is coming from, there was a speaker at a Trump event who said some not so savory things about Puerto Ricans. You can go watch the video for yourself. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with anything that was said at that rally. I just know that there was some not so great things said about Puerto Ricans. That being said, a whole bunch of Puerto Rican Trump supporters have come and still backed up Trump after this. That being said, Joe Biden said, and I quote, And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico's a floating island of garbage. And there was another quote in here that I forgot to highlight. Oh, here we go. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know that Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. So I'm going to read it one more time. Just let this sink in. Let's not forget how crazy awful of president Joe Biden is. One of the most abysmally awful presidents. And the fact that anyone thought that he was going to be able to run for office again is astonishing to me. Just let's hear this again. And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. What does that even mean? He was off to a good start with the beginning of that sentence. That sounds like he smoked a joint like halfway through it, and that's what came out. So, needless to say, whole bunch of people have come out still who are Puerto Rican, still supporting Trump after this. But like I said, we've been downgraded from deplorables to garbage from your president of the United States, President Joe Biden. This is the guy who is running the country right now, apparently, who has a finger on the nukes. So we go from someone calling Trump supporters garbage to someone calling Trump Hitler once again. It's the usual suspect, Marielle Trump, calling Trump rally a Nazi rally. So let's look at this. So Marielle Trump says on her Twitter on the 27th, she says, so we're really doing this again, eyes wide open. She shows a picture of Donald Trump's rally. She shows a picture of a Nazi rally. Looks like your pretty typical rally. There's people sitting around. I saw this and I had to reply, here's your typical Harris Walls rally, apparently. I don't really see how this rally is any different than what Trump was doing, or what Hitler was doing for that matter. Now, like I said, I'm not advocating for anything that Hitler said or did. I think he's a terrible man, but I think we're using the Nazi word and the Hitler word a little bit too loosely these days. I mean, every presidential candidate in the past like 20 years has been called Hitler. They called Trump Hitler. They called Obama Hitler. They called George Bush Hitler. They called Mitt Romney Hitler. Everyone's been called Hitler. And there's only one Hitler, guys. There's only one Hitler. Hitler was quite the guy. Okay, he was terrible, awful guy. But there's only one of him. And spreading his name around to other people and comparing him to him, you like really can't do it. There's only one Hitler, guys. You can't do that. But Marielle Trump, you really don't want to start this. Take off the Harris Walls branding, and it looks just like a Nazi rally. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to get. This is nothing but fear mongering. This is the same attacks at Donald Trump that had him almost assassinated 3 times, right? It's because of stuff like this where they believe that he's Hitler. They're going after him. Oh, we got to take out Hitler reincarnate, right? By the way, I have never once seen so many Jews at a Nazi rally, okay? They're not showing in this picture, but that stadium filled with Jews for Trump. I don't have a picture on screen, but there were people all over the place. It was beautiful. They had Jewish flags. They had the Israeli flag all over the stadiums. Jews for Trump. Never seen so many Jews at a Nazi rally, right? All right. Now it's time. It's time for your favorite time. It's time to watch some woke TikToks that I've seen. By the way, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this. If you use the TikTok platform, You may or may not have noticed this, but I've been getting a whole lot of Kamala Harris ads thrown my way on TikTok. A whole bunch of these woke TikToks supporting Kamala Harris coming my way. I don't know if there was an algorithm change. I don't know if they're listening to me and they got wind that I've been talking dirty at her and they're trying to brainwash my brain. So I go and vote for her. But if anyone's listening out there, the Chinese are listening to me. I've already voted for Donald Trump. My vote's in. It's been mailed. It's been processed. It's good. I'm done. There's no change in my mind at this point. I'm locked in. All right. So I saw this Kamala Harris ad, and I honestly could not believe that this was an ad that they rolled out. So let's watch this, and we'll talk. It's 30 seconds. All right. So here we go. Let's turn up the volume on this.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose, you can vote any way you want, and no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls. Vote Common Good is responsible for the contents of this ad.
So this was a pro-Harris ad that was shared out, and I watched this thing. I gotta say, I was captivated by it. This draw me in. Whatever advertisers put this together, give them a raise. They did a great job of making my jaw drop to the ground. I was already sitting watching that ad. Now I'm sat. Okay. This ad, what does it say? Essentially, what that ad is saying is any man who votes for Trump basically is straight out of Mad Men, right? The TV show Mad Men, I'm sure many of you have seen it. Straight out of Mad Men is a woman-hating, misogynist pig, right? So if you're a man who votes for Kamala Harris, or who votes for Donald Trump, you are a misogynist man, woman-hating man, okay? White men only, though. You'll notice that there were no black men in that video. But this ad has this guy. He's sitting here did you make the right choice, honey? Did you vote for Trump? Oh, yes, honey, I did. Please don't abuse me. Please love me. It makes me think back to the time. Who remembers? Raise your hand if you remember the Throw Granny Off the Cliff ad. I do. I remember Throw Granny Off the Cliff. Remember a few years back, I think this was right around the time, it might have been the midterms during Trump. Throw Granny Off the Cliff. It was Paul Ryan, former Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, pushing a wheelchair, the grandmother, and throwing her off a cliff because they were wanting to do something with Social Security or something. I don't even remember. Maybe it was Medicaid. I don't know. But throw Granny off the cliff. This is like the 2024 equivalent of throw Granny off the cliff, right? All white men are misogynists, right? If you are a heterosexual white man, you are a woman hater, right? And hey, honey, you can vote for whoever you want on the ballot. You don't have to tell your husband who you voted for, right? Let's be so for real for a second. Let's be honest. How many of these cases are actually existing out here? We needed a whole ad for that. This is once again just another level of fear-mongering that is what got Donald Trump almost assassinated 3 times now. People are seeing stuff like this ad, and thinking that he's a woman-hating misogynist, right? Now, I'm not defending Donald Trump's record with women. I think it's questionable to say the least. That being said, we have 2 candidates, and I would rather have the convicted felon than the coconut lady. By the way, if you're a young person out there, Kamala Harris said you were stupid. There was a video where she was talking about young people in college and who they vote for. She called young people stupid. Frankly, if you're someone who's under the age of 25, I don't know how you can cast a vote for someone who literally called you stupid. She called the entire generation of Gen Z, my people my age, I'm 20, stupid, right? We have one more woke TikTok to watch. Let's shoot right on over to this last one. And let me tell you, this last one, I got things to say about this last one. Let's play it. Let's play it right now. From Pink News, the woke gay news agency Pink News. Let's watch it.
And ignore the use. Studies have shown that around 8% of rams are gay and that between 18 to 22% are bisexual. Michael explained that regulations dictate that there must be 1 ram per 50 ewes and that ram is expected to produce offspring. If that ram is gay, they won't, and often that ram will end up at the slaughterhouse. Wanting to change this, Michael bought 21 gay rams from breeders and started rainbow wool with a friend. The wool collected from the sheep is used to create LGBTQ+ themed merch, like caps, patches, and shoelaces. Profits from the products goes to the Federation Queer Diversity in Germany, which helps various LGBTQ+ causes. The farm's sheep breeder, Klaus Louis Hahn, says, "The initiative is great because the rams can live a happy life with their peers and be their true selves." Michael has said the process benefits the sheep and the community. In such a conservative industry like farming, this is a revolution and truly special. Michael, who is a member of Germany's Gay Farmer Network, also hopes the project will change stereotypes around the farming industry, saying, "Out here in the countryside, we're more open-minded than some might think."
They're turning the rams gay. They're all gay. Remember when they said the water was turning the frogs gay? The water's turning the rams gay now, apparently. There's gay farmers out there farming gay wool, making their gay hats with their wool. I saw this, I think, at like midnight, and I'm sitting here scrolling through TikTok looking for stuff to cover, and all of a sudden I see this. All the animals are gay. They're turning the frogs gay. They're turning the rams gay. Everything is gay. Let's get all the rams together. We'll have one big gay happy party with all the rams, okay? I just said gay so many times, I would have been banned on about 5 different networks, most of which TikTok. But good thing we don't stream on TikTok or any of those other networks. We're only here on Rumble, where they let you say gay. We say gay on this show. And we say it in a bad way, okay? This is bad gay. All of this. Why is this even getting coverage? Who in their right mind would think, let me get a whole bunch of rams together and make gay wool out of them? By the way, is this even a sustainable business? Because like, if they're not like reproducing, like how is he going to like stay in business? Because it seems like he's getting the wool from the rams. And I don't know how long rams live for, but it can't be all that long. So maybe he's got a few good years left of getting wool, and then maybe the business will be done. I don't know, folks. I don't know. I show you the hot gossip. I show you all the hot news stories, and sometimes they even baffle me. I don't even know what to make of the gay rams. That being said, you can tell me what you think of the gay rams and all of the great stories that we cover here today. They are some of the most beautiful stories that you've ever seen. Come follow me on Twitter. Give me a follow. I'm at Homeland18 on Twitter. Look at that face. Look at that. Oop, that's not the right screen. Get it together, Nathan. Show the right screen. Where am I? There we are. Look at that beautiful face. Look at that beautiful piece of artwork up there. That's my artwork, by the way. Thank you very much. I drew that right after the first Trump assassination. I think it's great. Come join me on Twitter. Send me a message. If you want a message read on the show, send it to me. Let me know you on the show. Ask me questions. Come talk to me. Come vibe with me. I'm always a good time. We have fun over there. Once again, if you missed the beginning of the show, I will be on election night live stream with Robert Herr. You can go and follow him on Twitter. I'm sure most of you already know about this, but I will be on kind of right around the top of the show, and I will be back an hour after East Coast polls close. So I believe they close at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So I'll be on around 9 o'clock then. So hopefully we can start to catch and see where states like Pennsylvania and Virginia are going. It's going to be so much fun. That's next Tuesday. We are less than a week away from Election Day, folks. Get out there, get your vote. If you haven't voted already, please, please, please do not vote for Kamala Harris. Vote for literally anyone else. She's the worst. Vote for Jill Stein over Kamala Harris, frankly. Jill Stein, who's been running since like the beginning of time, it seems like, would be a better choice than Kamala Harris to cast your vote for. She has better policies than Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris doesn't even know what her policies are. At least Jill Stein knows what she's talking about. So that's all that we have for our show today, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you found these stories somewhat amusing, maybe a little bit whimsical. Maybe you were blown away like I was by the gay sheep. You know, if you see a man out there who voted for Donald Trump, please don't think that he is a misogynist a woman-hating, individual. They're very nice. I happen to be one of them. I think that, I think the Trump supporters are great. I've met plenty of them. They're all lovely people, in my opinion. I've never met, a mean Trump supporter. They're all great people, in my opinion. So remember, folks, we are now garbage. We've been downgraded from the basket of deplorables. But we'll see you again next time on Spin Cycle Live. I will be back here next Monday, a day before Election Day. I'm so excited. And we will be back here on Wednesday, a day after Election Day, to give you all the hot news. Please get out and vote. I cannot say it enough times. And if you voted already, please pray for Donald Trump. We need a Trump victory. This country cannot sustain another 4 years of Democrat rule. We can't do it. We gotta get Trump back in, guys, folks. All right. That's all I have to say. Hope you enjoyed the show. That's what I got. That's what I got. I thought I was going to have something really inspirational to say there at the very end, but I didn't. I already got it all out. But hope you enjoyed it. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy your weekend. Come back. See me on Monday. Come and see me on Tuesday and Wednesday. 3 days in a row, you're going to get my lovely face. I hope you're not getting tired of me. That's it. Have a good one. Peace out. Bye.